But we're gonna move over to news roundup. And RJ, can we open the members only vault now?
We are opening the members only vault. This will be part of, you know what? No, this is going to be fully members only for the first 3 days. I'm doing
Cool.
72 hours of members only on this video. I'm making the executive producer decision.
Cool. Cool. So we got news to talk about. On Thursday, Bilt dropped another email. And Bilt only does news in either email form or just randomly fucking up. There is no in between. So Bilt dropped another email. Anker's email to members this month was talking about how they're continuing to expand in more ways in the neighborhood program, that they're looking to be making about $1 billion in revenue by the end of this year. They're making over $10 billion in payments through all of their partners. Oh, Bilt Card 2.0 is coming out. It's being released by Cardless. No mention of Wells Fargo whatsoever in the email. And mortgage payments are continuing to be a thing. They've raised another $250 million, $100 million of which came from United Mortgages and the United Mortgage Holding Company. And oh yeah, they're valuing themselves at $10.75 billion. Cool. Cool.
Just
I'm
for the
sorry.
record, I value this podcast also at $10.75 billion.
We
If,
just
if we
haven't
get to make our own evaluations, why not?
we haven't done any series A rounds, we haven't done seed rounds. We can just make up a number two. I wondered what was going on with the cardless part of things, and the more I've dug into it, the more I just go, holy shit, what is going on with Bilt? It feels like they're just writing, they are at the beginning of the end for them. I've got plenty of takes on Bilt and Bilt Card 2.0. Lonnie, we've talked about Bilt a lot, and we admire the card, we admire the program. The company has been an issue. What were your thoughts on Anker's email?
I personally want to give Bilt the benefit of the doubt that hopefully this is a good decision and they're moving in the right direction. Now, what makes me say that? One, you're changing bank issuers again. So I am not a single man. I am not in the dating pool whatsoever. But let's pretend that I am. And I meet someone and I say, how long have you been single? And they're like, 6 months. Great. What happened to your last relationship? Something bad. What happened to the relationship before that? Same thing. This little red flag starts coming up very slowly. Hold on. It might not have been them. It might have been you. And so to have your now third banking partner, yeah, third, which is crazy. Also, you have so many cards to transition. And
Mm-hmm.
from the people that went transition from first banking partner to Wells Fargo, didn't go well. For the
Yep.
people that were part of Wells Fargo and their cards just randomly ended up on the dark web and fraud cases, happened to me twice on my Bilt card, didn't go well. The current state of customer service or lack of customer service, lack of answers, lack of direction, lack of changing. You got a $0 annual fee card, you still happen to piss off your card holders. Now you're going to add in 2 annual fee cards. With more money comes more responsibility. If you couldn't handle $0, can you handle $95? Can you handle $400? Seriously. And so I do have some apprehension, but at the same time, I like the way Bilt came into the game. They are a disruptor. Call it what you want, but they
Sure.
are a disruptor. We don't need to argue about that. Argue with your
Nope.
mama. They're a disruptor, But at the same time, the execution is what kind of killed it. Sometimes it's the leadership or the way they handled the business or communicated the business is what killed it. We all know someone that knows every get rich quick scheme, and yet they're broke. This is the way I'm starting to see Bilt. You got a lot of good ideas, but you got no follow through. And I would love to see the company do exactly what Ankar said in his email. And that would be we're turning a new leaf, we're bringing in the new things, and they have had some pretty good execution. One, rent. Call it what it is. They did that.
Yep.
They've been talking about mortgages forever, still not there yet. And now you're saying you're switching partners for mortgages. What happened to the literal mortgage lender, one of the oldest ones in the country? If you couldn't get it right with them, now granted, we know of some friction. Wells Fargo was losing money because of Bilt, whatever. The friction between Bilt and Wells Fargo as a business itself, I get that. But when you are two companies that work in money, there should be some common ground, i.e., money, that we can all agree on and get the job done. I have made money with people I can't stand. I'm not calling them for Christmas. I'm not asking how their mama doing. I'm not sending their kids a birthday card. And yet we can still make money. At your level, the $1 billion level, if y'all can't figure that out, that's concerning to me. Because with any business, the number one rule is to follow the money. And if y'all can't get the money right, there's no way you're going to get the rest of the business model right. If you can't agree on the money, you're not going to agree on customer service, you're not going to agree on card holders, you're not going to agree on the color of this new flipping card. There's always going to be some type of friction. And that's what's concerning to me. I want to see them do well. I want to see them execute and go full scale, especially here in the US, where you get Bilt points when you buy a house, which they've launched. You get Bilt points when you pay your mortgage, not just your HOA, when you pay your mortgage. You get assistance in paying your mortgage. You got rent covered. Bilt could be the brand that owns the roofs of this country. And yet, there's always something that holds them back. And not necessarily from a business standpoint, but from a customer satisfaction standpoint. When you took away 10K points on rent day, something that you put out there to be a disruptor, to be a differentiator, you took that away from the people that came in. We will give you this way to earn points. And then you took it away.
Yep.
We're going to give you 1.25. And then you took away 80% of how I earn 1.25. How I can use that 1.25 from your own travel portal.
Without telling people.
Not the point, but you're right. I still have a lack of trust on when they say, here's something we're going to do. Great. I know you're going to do it. But now I'm concerned about when are you going to take it away? Because you're really good at taking stuff away. You're really good at executing, but then when you're like, we're not making any money off of this, i.e. follow the money. We're not making money off of this. This is not profitable. Let's just bail. Let's just take it away. You're taking away everything that made me want the card in the first place. That's like the repo man just coming to take your tires. Doesn't necessarily work out. You got to take the whole thing or don't. It's all or nothing. We're ones and zeros here, people.
Yep.
And so that's where I'm currently at with Bilt, where it's a cry wolf. I don't even really pay attention to Ankar's emails anymore. I skimmed through it. I read it once, maybe when I saw it. And then I said, I'll wait for Matt. Kid you not. I kid you not, folks. I literally put the walking collar, grabbed my leash in my earbuds, took my dog around the block and listened to Matt because I'm like, it's a cry wolf. They say all this glorious stuff that has no effect on me, by the way. And then at the end of the day, when are you going to take it away? I like Bilt. I think they could be a amazing card. I have openly stated multiple times, Bilt is a card that everyone that could fit within everyone's travel strategy, can fit with within everyone's particular wallet. I have also said I don't have a problem with the card. I have a problem with the business. Bilt is still a good card. I love what they do from a business standpoint, how they came in and disrupted everything. But from a business model, I have still no trust. And so when I see this email from Ankar, which has happened multiple times, where sometimes it's fine print at a font size 3, and other times it's no communication at all. And other times it's, you know what, this is what we're going to do. And then they take it away. Great. You sent out another email saying what's coming. I have no doubt everything he said is going to come. I can't tell you when he's going to take it away. And that's the problem, because look at Bilt card in 2024 compared to now. No, let's even go back to 2023. Look at the Bilt card in 2023 compared to now. It's not the same card. The benefits aren't the same. You don't earn the same.
No.
It's not the same. It's completely changed. And I don't think that's talked about enough when it comes to it. And like I said, that's where the problem lies. Take any other, if you want to play in the credit card space with the big dogs, please play in the credit card space with the big dogs. I am okay with more competition out there. But tell me where my United card has changed. I had United cards for over a decade, and they did one refresh recently.
Yeah.
I knew exactly what I was getting. They added a lot to it. They will add credits to it. They add benefits to it. But the foundation of the card, how I use it, the reason that made me click that apply button is still there. Even after changes, after refreshes, still to this day. You can do that with Chase. You can do that with Amex. The foundational reasons of why you engage people, got them to get your card, is still there. I can't say that with Bilt. The reason why you got that card is no longer the same.
Yep.
It is completely different. Unless you got that card only to pay your rent. That's the only thing that's stuck around at this point.
Yeah. Nothing in the email was talking about the Bilt flywheel of points and all these other things, a nice little PowerPoint presentation slide deck that was made with JP Morgan and all this wonderful pomp and circumstance. But like the big things, Bilt is launching Bilt Card 2.0 in February of 2026. Great. We know that there's going to be a no annual fee version. We know there's a $95 annual fee version and a $4.95 annual fee version. And like I joked about with Chase showing a soft 20 with their Sapphire Reserve mistake, they said that the card's launching in February. They're giving details in the fall. So they're going to have the same sort of lead time that Chase is now giving. And they too have a competitor in the same space now with mortgages who's going to have 4 months to look at what they're doing and kind of laugh at them.
Yeah. So, RJ, can we do a second time capsule? Was Lonnie right? Pre-schedule it till February, where in the vein of my entire monologue I just went through, what happens when the $0 annual fee card says you pay your rent with this card and you only get half a point per dollar, or 1 point for every $2? Yep. If you want the 1 point per dollar, you have to go to the 95 or the premium $400 something card. I wouldn't be surprised if they do that. But the thing is, we're not going to get any communication on it until January 30th. It ain't coming until it ain't come until January, if they do. And so if we cut this and we do the time capsule thing, we're just going to put, was Lonnie right? I would love to come back and revisit this and just see if I predicted that. This ain't speculation station. I'm actually putting my dollar in Vegas down that if you get the $0 annual fee card, the way that you earn points is about to change.
Oh, I can almost guarantee that right now. That's going to be part of the eventual speculation station on this. Here's the fun part. Everyone who loves Bilt but hates Wells Fargo owes Wells Fargo a fucking apology, because Wells Fargo was putting up so much money on paying the fees for that went through with rent processing that Bilt got away with creating their own payment processing network for the other credit cards, that now you can like pay $2, get a point for rent on your non-Bilt card that was supposed to be a point per dollar for Visa and MasterCards and I guess Discovers, and 1 point for every $2 with American Express cards. Like, Bilt got to pay that. Bilt is probably going to keep that for themselves. Wells took care of the ACH stuff and the rampant fraud that went through that. They're not going to say that there was a ton of yeah, there's a ton of fraud going through that. Wells will not put it in on paper because they would have to show the receipts, but I don't think Wells doesn't have the receipts. If it triggered anti-money laundering concerns with Wells in 2023, yeah, they got some receipts. Wall Street Journal highlighted that Wells Fargo in 2023 and 2024 was making ultimatums of Bilt saying to change the program or else Wells was going to give up on them. Set a timeline. Bilt blew through every deadline to change the card. And Wells at any point could have changed and charged an annual fee. Wells went out of their way to keep this a $0 annual fee card by not adding an annual fee at any point, where they could have slapped a $250. They were talking about slapping a $250 to $300 annual fee on the card. They didn't, because they knew it would further ruin their reputation. The Bilt card became a reputation problem for Wells, and Wells went out of their way not to step on that landmine, because Wells is an actual business that like understands that they still have a perception problem. This was supposed to help fix it, and it made it worse. So if you are happy about Bilt screwing over Wells Fargo, Wells could have done you dirty and chose not to. As for Bilt itself, like, they're moving to cardless. Can't sell a credit card to save its life. The Qatar card is considered, the $4.99 Qatar card is always pushing 100,000 point Qatar welcome offer. And like the first 60,000 of it is basically just make a purchase on the card. It's not that good a deal, but like it feels like it's that good a deal. The Avianca cards, also the top one, 100,000 point welcome offer. First 20 to 30,000 points, make a purchase. The other 80,000 is spend $4,000 on this card in 3 months, please. Like, they aren't pushing cards out. And now they're about to get an injection of 1 million cards seamlessly into this program and offering 2 additional cards, and they only allow 1 card per family. So you're going to have to choose, like, to go over to the no annual fee Bilt card, with Bilt now having to take on more responsibility with the payment processing and making sure that, you know, they're paying out the landlords, because the landlords aren't going to take a discount the way that Wells subsidize them. They're not going to have subsidizing them. The way you earn points on rent is going to change fundamentally, and nobody's going to be happy or ready about it, because Bilt is probably going to communicate this, as Lonnie said, probably in January, which would be bad.
Yeah, so there's 2 sides to this coin, and that's when someone else takes over your roof, payment, earn points, rent, mortgage, whatever. I've said this before on this particular podcast, is that if Chase were to do this tomorrow, or if Amex were to do this tomorrow, even if Capital One were to do this tomorrow, Bilt's cooked.
Wells Fargo directly.
They have the infrastructure already in place, right?
Yep.
But at the same time, the flip side of that coin is, if the information and the data is out there, how come they haven't done it? Maybe it's too complicated. Maybe it's not a good business model. Maybe the infrastructure to code the data and build that infrastructure within that card system would be too difficult for someone that's already established, like an American Express is what I'm referring to. Actually, to be completely honest, someone as big as American Express, they could just create a brand new card. Just be like, here's American Express whatever card, and just start at ground zero and just build a whole new card that earns MR points only on rent or whatever you want to call it, or mortgage, or however it's going to be done. We already know ACH works, and I guarantee you, well, American Express got enough employees that can actually prevent the fraud. They actually have, I say they have enough employees that could actually
shut down the bullshit.
Exactly. But it hasn't been done yet. And that's also bringing me back to Bilt. Makes me wonder, how difficult was it to bring in Ruse as a payment, as a reward option? Because one, nobody else has done it. Nobody else has touched it. Chase won't even give us a grocery category. Is it a money thing? Is it an infrastructure thing, or whatever? The other aspect of it is travel portals are starting to come hot again, really hot. Not only hot, also mandatory. Chase is going mandatory. The CSR is going mandatory. It's hot and it's mandatory. We don't know what Amex is going to do. Amex is probably going to lean more, their needle is probably going to lean a little bit towards mandatory as well. Like with FHR, for example, 100% mandatory. But I think that you want to start earning points on your gold and more, the largest amount of points in your green, gold, and platinum card, Amex Travel Portal. I think it's going to start leaning that way. But my point is, Bilt came out with the ultimate travel portal, the people's travel portal, if you will. And what they do, Matt? Tell me what they did. Go ahead and drop it. What did they do?
They fucked it up.
They took everything away.
Oh yeah, no, they took everything away because they fucked it up.
You can now, in our travel portal, book a hotel, book a flight, or book a blade ride to your flight. And how
attractions, tours,
all of that went away overnight.
Rental cars.
And I have a best friend that got screwed by that non-communication of that taken away. So I'm always going to feel a little bit hurt because that took extra money out of his. Now he took physical money out of his pocket because he was going to use his Bilt points, and now bank account's a little bit lower, and his Bilt account is like super thick because they took that type of stuff away.
Yep.
My point of that is, wow, people are really upset about the way they love the way Bilt Travel Portal worked. And they're upset that it's gone away. Chase has already started adding activities. I've seen some of them are pretty good. Activities, tours, those types of things.
And that's all 8X.
Universal theme park. They don't have Disney in there, but they do have Universal Studios and Chase's travel portal. These are the types of things that you give me points boost on my Universal tickets, I'm out. That's a good weekend for me. It's worth it. I got enough points and miles on other cards. I will do that.
Yep.
You've heard me say this a million times before, and I will always stand by it. It's one of my mantras in my particular credit card strategy, and what I like to portray for the discerning credit card creator. Your points should have a purpose and an exit strategy. Your Bilt points are starting to lose an exit strategy.
And it's only a matter of time before other contracts with transfer partners start expiring and maybe they don't renew.
Sometimes you just got to, another Vegas reference, you just got to get up from the table. And even for me, I could walk away and I wouldn't be mad by not earning another Bilt point if I decided to do that today. 5 transactions. Can we just get that out of the way? Can we just get that out of the way? Finally,
that's another thing that's going to go
come
away.
February, can we just get that out of the way? But when I think of my points that I have in there right now, which is over 100,000, I don't know exactly, but it's over 100,000. I am one trip away from just cashing them out. Send them to Hilton, send them to Marriott, send them to United. Deuces. Especially if they brought back a really good transfer bonus. Oh, there we go. Remember when they're doing transfer bonus to partners like left and right almost every month, if not every other month? Where'd those go?
Yep. They
You remember
ran out of money.
Remember their status tiers, which actually made sense as someone that hit platinum in 2023 and had it for all of 2024? What's the purpose of it now? They give you these things, and then they take them away.
Yep.
My difference between I am silver, I think, with Bilt right now and having platinum, other than a free helicopter ride to the airport, nothing has changed because of my status. You had it, then you took it away. Man, platinum would get 200% transfer bonus. That's really great to say, but they're not giving you a transfer bonus to get 200%. So you're not getting anything. They don't even give away the free gift. At least I got a candle.
Yeah, poor Keith. He still got nothing. He's still got nothing. He's still platinum and he's got nothing. Lonnie got a candle. Yes.
I got a candle.
Bilt is the ADHD child who basically consumes a pound of sugar every day and just runs around like a maniac. And we'll see what happens. But yeah, big news was Bilt and Wells Fargo are splitting. Wells, it seems to have been more unilaterally Wells. My biggest issue was all the coverage saying Bilt breaks up with Wells Fargo. Nah, Wells kicked them out. This stopped making money real quick. So the perception there did not help.
As card holders, we all lost the kids in the divorce. So
oh yeah. Yep. So we'll see what happens going forward. I'm interested to see what happens with Wells in 2026 because I have no doubt that they're spending the rest of 2025 just picking up the pieces of what was supposed to be a much better deal. Cardless launch in 2026. 3 cards are coming, $0, $95, $4.95. God only knows what these cards are going to look like. I can tell you this much. They're going to come with minimum spend requirements. 5 transactions, I think, is going away because 5 transactions was completely stupid. Minimum spend requirement is definitely going to come around, especially given that it seems to be working for Mesa. Putting up that gate seems like a good idea. Yeah, we're just going to have to see. We're told that early fall of 2025 is when we're going to learn about the cards, and then we have to wait for another 4 to 6 months, which is going to be fun. I don't see this going very well. What could possibly go wrong? Everything for Bilt. And again, y'all owe Wells an apology. Everyone that was hating on Wells, y'all owe Wells an apology.
You just want an apology because you love Wells.
It's not anything to do with me. Nothing to do with me. Again, Wells is a company that could offer you the 10 times everything card. Get 10% back on all your purchases. And there would be somebody who'd say, Wells Fargo.
To be fair, you and I both say Citi, so...
There are worse banks.
Also, I love we got to the end of the segment and you did not once ask me my opinion. The entire 20 minutes we've been doing this.
Sorry, RJ, you mentioned that you were going to be grabbing popcorn. Do you have any opinions here?
Here's what I'll say. There are people who should be in charge of ideas, and there are people who should be in charge of companies. It seems that the people in charge of Bilt should have been in charge of ideas and coming up with new card ideas, and not in charge of the actual implementation of those ideas. Because they seem very good at coming up with ideas. They come up with some interesting things. They have tried interesting things. But they do not understand how to turn those interesting things into long-term successes that don't break constantly or have to be changed constantly. I think if they were in a department at Wells Fargo, like fully Wells Fargo employees, or name your bank here. Wells was the last one they were at, so I'll use them, right?
Sure.
If their job was as Wells Fargo employees to come up with ideas, I think they would have done very successfully. because they can come up with interesting things and then let people who are very good at logistics and implementation go over and actually make the ideas feasible. They have zero idea on feasibility. They have a lot of ideas on creativity. And I think that's ultimately Bilt's problem is they want to be Apple when Steve Jobs was running Apple, but they didn't also realize, oh, you got to be good at business too. They wanted that like spark of genius of if I put the iPad in the fish tank or iPod in the fish tank and there's bubbles that come up from it, that means there's space we can take away. Like they want that moment for the biopic, but you also have to create something that's good. Like Steve Jobs was an asshole, but he was an asshole who knew how to do certain things. They are assholes who seemingly do not know how to do certain things.
But here's the thing that makes that worse, though.
Real quick, Matt, before you get there.
Yeah.
RJ just, I'm not going to call Steve Jobs an asshole. I would say, based on what others have said, he's difficult to work with. That's what I'll say.
Work with, sure. It's the members only, so I'm being a little bit.
Yeah, but I don't want to call him an asshole, especially he's passed away. So it was stated he was difficult to work with. But I made a statement that said, you don't have to like somebody in business if you follow the money. And you know what? Everyone worked with someone that they couldn't stand and made money.
But here's my thing. They brought in the adult who was supposed to guide them, continue getting them further up the guide path. Eric Schmidt was brought into Google to be the adult in the room and like be the CEO who takes this great idea and brings it to the public in terms of their finances. John Scully was brought into Apple to be the adult in the room when Steve was younger and very much more vibrant, we'll say, in his attitudes and ways of approaching people and not learning how to be a manager the way he did at Next. He had to be fired from his position to take over, to become the CEO of Next and learn how to be a manager at Next that he never had to do at Apple. But Apple brought an adult in the room when they hired John Scully. They didn't bring in the right adult because you don't bring in a soda executive to run a computer company. That was a stupid idea. But they still had the same thing. They brought the adult in the room. Google brought the adult in the room. Kenneth Chenault is supposed to be the adult in the room.
But if the adult in the room isn't being listened to, it doesn't matter how good they are. And it seems like the people in charge have zero desire to listen to the adult in the room because they want to be the .com people of a generation past, but you can't recreate that. Like they are going for the biopic here. The problem is you gotta like be good before you get the biopic or before you become Apple, before you become one of these brands. You can't become American Express overnight. And I think they were shooting for an American Express and got down towards like credit one. Like they did not hit where they thought they were going to hit.
My final question on this before we'll move into topics. Does anyone think Ken Chenault will stay on in the next 6 to 12 months as chairman of the board?
As long as the check's still clear.
Depends on how much money he makes. Thanks, RJ. You're right. You just
I money, man, money.
They're still running on VC money.
Doesn't matter.
Matt, I'm gonna be honest with you. You pay me $100 million right now, I'll go be the CEO of Bilt. Would you turn down $100 million, Matt? Because if you say yes, you're a liar.
No, I'd probably take the money and then, I don't know, leave at some point.
Yeah, but you get the money first. That's the point.
Yeah, you leave when you retire. You pay me that I'm out. I'm showing up with, I don't even know what type of metaphor analogy to use right here. I'm showing up for $100 million.
That's fair. It's weird to me that they brought in the adult. They brought in the former CEO of American Express to continue getting them to put them on the glide path to go public, to make the next big steps, to do the big things. And yes, they're making lots of money. And yes, making lots of money is great, but they
It's a
are
monument.
nowhere near. Yeah,
Do
they're
like, if their goal is to go public and become the next Jeff Bezos, do they really care that they're nerfing all of these things as long as they keep making money hand over fist? Like, I understand, Matt, you love logic. I get that. You and I have had a million conversations about how things should just make sense. But if the goal is to make $1 billion and be a billionaire, are they not going to accomplish that goal when they go public? And the adult in the room is probably the guy in the meetings with the investors.
Also, you also added a really great point there, Matt. If you have an American Express big dog, I'm not going to call him a founder,
no.
But you got one of their big dogs, and then somewhere in that boardroom, he's sitting there as they are discussing a new issuing bank. And he doesn't raise his hand and say American Express. There must be something wrong with the business at some point, in some way, where American Express is, that pan is hot and I don't want to touch it.
Yeah. I fundamentally don't know what's next for this company. And to me, I think they're at the beginning of the end. I don't know that they're going to be able to pull off going public. I don't know that they're going to be able to pull off this third card issuer in 4 years. And the Evolve thing fell apart and through no fault of Bilt. That's fine. The Wells Fargo situation is entirely on Bilt. And who knows what's going to happen with cardless.
Right. Now I gotta sit around, wait for another card to show up, change all my digital payment stuff. It's gonna have a new number.
Might get flagged for fraud 4 times before it gets there.
Literally, that's what happened when I got my first Bilt card. Before it showed up, it already got hit for fraud. I'm like, I haven't activated it yet. So y'all got a lot of explanation to do, like how my number get caught and how to get used if I haven't received it to activate it yet. And they sent me another card. And so that's why I said it's happened twice. That's the first time. And it recently happened within like the last year or so.
And then the last thing, they're moving from a company that they had terrible their customer service experience. The customer service experience for Bilt card holders at Wells was terrible because they didn't cross train and they didn't set up their own customer service. Now they're going to cardless that also doesn't really have their own customer service. And they're probably going to continue refusing to do customer service in a traditional sense. And First Electronic Bank, who issues all the cardless cards, regardless of what payment network they're going across, is not known for their stellar customer service. Problems aren't getting better.
Like I said, I have positioned myself to walk away from Bilt clean.
Yeah.
No more 5 transactions. A couple clicks of my mouse and all my points are gone, zeroed out, and I can go on with my day.
Yep.
I want to see them do well.
Same.
But I doubt that they will. I think they will put themselves in a position that people will once again enjoy. And then they're going to take away that joy.
Yeah. No. We will check back in when they make the formal announcements of what Bilt Card 2.0 is going to look like, and then we have to wait another 4 months before it actually launches, in which time they will have the soft 20 on the table and Mesa can just look at the board and see what they're doing.